Hello and welcome back to another EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Bria, Riptide Rogue. It is a 4 mana 3/3 with prowess, and it gives all of your other creatures also prowess. What is worth mentioning is that if a creature has multiple instances of prowess, all of them trigger separately. Furthermore, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Making target creature unblockable this turn is extremely strong, and also giving that creature prowess will help you to win the game. So you want to build up an army of powerful threats and swing for the win, or if those threats get answered, you will create an army of huge tokens, which you can overrun your opponents with, as also all of those tokens will have prowess. Due to the fact that Bria costs 4 mana, we will do a little bit of setting up the turns before, then bring her out and start storming off. So we play cards like Sprite Dragon, a 2 mana 1/1 with flying and haste, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on it. Electrostatic Infantry, a 2 mana 1/2 with trample, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 counter on it. Balmor, Battle Mage Captain, a 2 mana 1/3 with flying, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. And giving your creatures trample with this triggered ability is extremely helpful. Storm Chaser Mage, a 2 mana 1/3 with flying and haste and prowess. Veyron, Voice of Duality, a 3 mana 2/2, and whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And if you casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Veyron is definitely one of your finishing creatures, as she will double all of your prowess triggers. You also play Frolicking Familiar, a 3 mana 2/2 with flying, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It also has an adventure side for 1 red mana, it's an instant, it deals 1 damage to any target. As I have mentioned before, you can also win with an army of tokens. So we play token generators like Dika, Fractal Theorist, a 5 mana 3/3, and whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token and put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. For 4 mana, target creature token can't be blocked this turn, so you also have another unblockable enabler. The most expensive creature in this deck is Ovika, Enigma Goliath, a 7 mana 6/6 with flying, ward free and pay 3 life, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. These tokens also gain haste until end of turn. So while you are slinging several spells together with Ovika and Bria on the battlefield, you will generate tokens and they will also have prowess and haste. Murmuring Mystic, a 4 mana 1/5, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 Bluebird Illusion creature token with flying. Talrun, Sky Summoner, a 4 mana 2/2, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 Blue Drake creature token with flying. Young Pyromancer, a 2 mana 2/1, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. And of course Third Path Iconoclast, a 2 mana 2/1, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. The turn after we brought out Bria, we want to sling a lot of spells together to pump up our creatures to swing in for a huge amount of damage. So we cast spells like Frantic Search, a 3 mana instant, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards and tap up to 3 lands. With that we can filter through our deck, get a prowess trigger for free, and find more spells that we can cast in this turn. Expedite, a 1 mana instant, target creature gains haste until end of turn and you draw a card. Crash Through, a 1 mana sorcery, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn and you draw a card. You play Opt, a 1 mana instant, you scry 1 and then you draw a card. You can also start off with Ponder, a 1 mana sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order and you may shuffle, after that you draw a card. And you play Preordain, a 1 mana sorcery, scry 2 and then you draw a card. You want to cast a lot of cheap spells in this deck to get a lot of Bria and prowess triggers, so you can discount all of your instant and sorcery spells even more. For example with Magnus the Red, a 5 mana 4/5 with flying, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature token you control. This is a really great synergy with all of your token generators, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a 3/3 red spawn creature token. You play Baral, Chief of Compliance, a 2 mana 1/3, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. As you are in blue colors, you will also play a lot of counter spells to defend your game plan. Thunderclap Drake, a 2 mana 2/1 with flying, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And for 3 mana and sacrificing it, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. You play Riptide, a 3 mana 0/4 with flying, and its power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Riptide is a creature that you definitely want to make unblockable with Bria on the battlefield. You also play Goblin Electromancer, a 2 mana 2/2, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Always worth mentioning is playing the Medallions. You play Ruby Medallion, a 2 mana artifact, red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and Sapphire Medallion, a 2 mana artifact, blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Once you have set up your game plan, you will deal the finishing blow with cards like Fist of Flame, a 2 mana instant, draw a card, and until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. Timor Battle Rage, a 2 mana instant, target creature gains double strike until end of turn, and that creature also gains trample until end of turn if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. This will allow you to maybe kick out a player with Bria with commander damage. To Inferno, a 2 mana instant, choose one. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Or target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. You also play Dreadmaws Ire, a 1 mana instant, until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact that player controls. If you have an army of tokens on the battlefield, Dynart Charge is definitely one of your win cons. A 1 mana instant, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. But it is an instant that can be overloaded for 3 mana, so all of your creatures will get +2/+0. And with that prowess trigger on all of your creatures, they will basically get +3/+1 until end of turn. And once you have slinged a lot of spells together, you will play Haze of Rage, a 2 mana sorcery with buyback, so you may pay an additional 2 generic as you cast this spell, and if you do, put this card into your hand as it resolves. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, but the relevant thing is that this card has Storm, which says when you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. You want to win more? You get it. Due to the fact that you will be playing a bunch of instant and sorcery spells in this deck, you will definitely fill up your graveyard. You might come to the point where it will be tough to generate even more value with all of those prowess triggers, so you play Past in Flames, a 4 mana sorcery. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. You can also flashback Past in Flames itself for 5 mana, and flashback says you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback costs, but then you will exile it. This will give you a huge flexibility in your game plan, and furthermore you will be able to cast the same spell 2 times in a turn. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I will play in Bria, Riptide, Rogue. Let me know down in the comments below which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next, and then I would say see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.